All right. So, hi all. Welcome to the webinar with LambdaTest and Katalon. So, really appreciated you guys taking your time out and joining us on this webinar. In this webinar, we will be joining us today would be Young No. He's the product manager with Katalon. Me myself, I am Mudit Singh. I'm the director, product and growth at LambdaTest. So Young No has been responsible for the development and has been with Catalan since its inception, I think, since its launch, starting, right?
Uh, Not really, but
Really?
then I am working for Katalon Studio as product manager since 2018 in the beginning.
All right.
To be, yeah, exact.
All right. So yeah, Young would be happy to help us with the major Catalan part. So he will be in today's agenda would be that we'll be talking about Catalan, why, what, and why you would need Catalan. They have recently launched a new version of the Catalan, Catalan 7, and we will be going into what are their features and how you can use it for your automation testing. In the final part, we'll be focusing on how you can integrate LambdaTest and Katalon for getting for running your test in parallel and getting a better browser coverage due to help from LambdaTest automation platform as well. Uh, After that, we will be doing a Q&A session. So anytime during the session, if you feel you want to ask a question, feel free to use our Q&A or chat section to ask away. And after the webinar, we would be running a Q&A session that you can use to, that will be there to help you with your questions, right? So I think this is the part where my role ends, Young. I think you can start from your part here, right? Taking
Okay.
giving the floor over to you.
Thank you, Mudit, for the great introductions. So now I will begin to share my screen. So hi everyone. Introduced by Mudit. My name is Yang. I'm from Katalon, and I have been the product manager for Katalon team since 2018. So I'm very happy and very excited to be here today to share with you guys some information about Katalon Studio, especially to the people who haven't had chance to know or use Katalon yet. So first of all, Katalon Studio, our main product in Katalon, were named at the best automation testing software in 2019. So this is named by this is in Gartner peer review. So I believe that if you have chance to take a look at Gartner, we have more than 500 rating there with the average score of 4.4. So there are a lot of good review there. And if for you to know about Katalon and Katalon Studio, I think you guys should read the command. It's a very good choice for reference. And we also rank it at the top automated testing software in Captura as well. And secondly, this is the trend from Google that we do a comparisons among like Katalon Studio ourselves with other top automated testing software, so that like TestMu, Runrex, 𝒕𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒈𝒆𝒓 of Transcended, and 𝑢𝑓𝒕 of Micro Focus. You can see from the trend in the beginning of 2017, 𝑢𝑓𝒕s are maybe everything is just about 𝑢𝑓𝒕. So they dominated on the interest of the automation software. So we began to introduce Katalon from 2016. So as you can see, we note in there from the beginning of 2017. But then somehow we get adopted by our users, and we begin to surpass 𝑢𝑓𝒕 maybe in the middle of 2018. and we were able to maintain the momentum until the end of 2019, which is at the moment. So actually, the trend cannot tell that we are the best tool out there some way somehow, because I can tell that we cannot compare with the giant UFT, which is already in the market for 20 years, right? With a lot of feature, with a lot of cool stuff. But I think it just say that Katalon Studio, we're really on a hot trend, and at least it's worth for someone to know about us, and it's worth for someone to take a look at our tool. So with Katalon, we are not only an automation testing tool, but we about an automation testing solutions. So we have the integrations with all the tool in the development pipelines to build a continuous testing solution. So let's say for Katalon Studio is a tool to generate the test, and we have integration with all the source control like GitHub, like TFS. And we also have integration with the test management tool like Jira, and TestRail, and Qtest. So let's say for development pipelines, we're able to get the test cases from the test management tool like Jira, and then we build the automation script. And for whenever we complete the script building, we put the script to the source control. And then in the CI/CD tool like Jenkins, like 𝑐𝒂𝒂𝒈, and Microsoft Azure, we have the native plugin with the tool to trigger the execution test. We will run the Katalon Studio and runtime engine with the add-on of Katalon Studio that have to execute the test in the console mode, or like API command line environment. And then for the runtime engine, we can actually review the cloud service provider, just like LambdaTest and browse stack with the environment. And we have the result put into Katalon Test App. So for Katalon Test App that we build is about a reporting system that have to consolidate on the execution result. We can have people to investigate the result, do some analytics, and we also have integrations with the test management tool, which mean that when we execute the test, the result will go back to the test management system. So this help us position ourselves at a automation solution for the continuous testing. So we have full platform support. Which, we have you can run Katalon on Mac, Linux, and also Windows. We have support for not only web but also mobile API and desktop testing as well. For desktop testing is a new feature in our Katalon 7. So we position ourselves at a quick to adopt solutions, and which means that we very fast for the beginner to start using our solutions. And we also have the capability to scale when the project go up or scale up, or we need to scale it to multiple projects as well. And finally, we have seamless integration with Agile and CI/CD tool, and that I just demonstrated to you guys already, that to have fully embedded our solution into the development and testing pipeline. So for our customer, we in terms of like the indie perspective, we position ourselves as the #1 Codeless solution. So here it doesn't mean that we now already the #1, but we position ourselves to be the #1. And with Codeless solution, here doesn't mean that we do not allow to do code, but we believe that we can help to fix any level of automation expertise, and it's very important. I show you in the report later. For in terms of team, we identify ourselves as a collaborative solution, and we bet for team with diverse level of automation expertise. So right now, a lot of our customers, they have in the team, they have like maybe one or two experts who have using Katalon Studio and Build Framework. And then when they can have the stuff already with Katalon Studio, it can be used by like junior automation tester or even manual tester to really create the test and continue solution. So that the bad way the people out there is using Katalon Studio in a team. And for organizations, we believe that we easier to adopt, and we bet for organization to quickly generate the result and maximize the return on investment. So we believe that unlike the other automation framework that might take time for you to really create the task and have execute the stuff and make the maintenance and have the result, we can have you quickly come over on the stuff, and you can have your return as fast as you can. And also, when you want to scale to many projects, or you scale to many applications, is also there are a lot of capability out there in the tool for you to help you to do that. So for Katalon 7, we have a lot of features, new stuff, but then as I mentioned previously, since Katalon 7, we focus on building the solution for company, for enterprise. So the two key points that we mentioned, like easy to adopt and powerful to scale, it really the way for us to focus on and to build the features. And for easy to adopt, we have like smart XPath, smart way, and image-based recognitions that I will show you right after the demo right after. And for powerful to scale features, we had desktop app testing, test object import export, and test object refactoring. They are the key features that I want to mention with you guys today. And one thing I want to mention that for easy adopt, it is all the feature there, we focus on to the element location. So I will tell you this. So this is the work quality report that I've just read a couple days ago. So I think this is a very good chance out there for you to refer to know the trend and the news in the about automation testing in specific, and about like quality in general. So this is the main challenge in automation, test automation, that I extracted from the report. So here they mentioned the number one reason for the number one challenge of test automation is difficulty to automate because our application change too much with every release. So the reason that automation is difficult and very hard to adopt is not really for it difficult to build the test case or something like that, but it really difficult because the application change too much, too many side chains, and if the framework they cannot adopt to this, it's very difficult to really make make a successful automation framework. So you know, so for everyone here, I believe that if you use Selenium already, and when we have this written, this is the most common exception that we see. That we don't have it like no such element exceptions. There is would mean that we cannot find the element as we expected, like element not visible exception, which means that element is there, but somehow, some way it's not visible for it to interact or to take the actions. And many other exceptions are out there. So the exceptions mostly happen when the application changes. And actually when the application change, the things which corrupt the most is the element locations. So that the reason why all the features that we build focus on fixing the problem of the element locations. And we believe when we can fix that, our solution become very easy to adopt. And we really fix the problem with the application change too much. So for now, I will have the demo of the features that we have in Katalon 7 to show you why it can help you to fix the problem of element locations. So first of all, we come to the Smart XPath features. Now I will show you a real quick video. So we have a task A, and I will disable the Smart XPath. Okay. I run the task A. So this is the task A that I recorded already on LinkedIn site. For here, the script, you try to click on view profile. Okay, but then the task A failed because it cannot click on the element. So it say that the XPath identified by the ID, Amber, cannot be found. Yep, this cannot find the view profile button. And let's say now I will enable auto healing Smart XPath and we run the test. We see how it works. All right, so this time it seems it's able to file the button and test case finished. So let's see the difference here. Right now is yeah, it's able to click on the view profile button. And if you take a look at the console, somehow the Smart XPath functionality is triggered. And even when it cannot file the XPath by ID, it's use another the cap XPath. Okay, take a look at sorry. All right, so if you can see here, the reason why even it fell with the ID, but with Smart XPath, what we can do here is we generate a set of XPath. Especially we have the neighbor XPath, which we depend on the text that around the element to identify the element. So that with that way, when it fell with the ID, we still able to use the text view profile to identify the button, and then we click on it. So with this way, it's gonna be for right now, the way that you locate the element will be more robust, and likely the developer might change the ID of the element anytime, but actually for the text, normally it will not change. And with this way, we can we can make our test case more robust, and then we can have the way to recover when we have failed. So so I sorry for the problem. So I will move on smart way. Okay, so let's see. Okay, for smart way, we have these features that. Okay, let's see an example here first. So we had an Ajax pay, and we try to capture the task when we click on pay one. And for the first time, when we run, for the first time that we run the task without smart XPath, it actually failed because technically, when we verify the element, the Ajax request had been run. And you know already that for the Ajax request, it's gonna take a synchronous request. It's gonna load the content from the server down to the page. But then because it takes maybe a couple of a microsecond for the test to load, but because we verify the test without any waiting, so the test failed. So normally to make the test pass, we will put a lot of waiting here. So we wait for, but we don't know how long should we wait, right? We can wait for like 5 seconds or 10 seconds, but we don't know when will the test will be loaded. But if we wait for too long, the test will be very slow. But we wait for like too fast, we might not get the test already. And with Smart Way, we offer a way that we don't need to introduce any other lines of waiting text, but we still make the test fast. So we see how it works here. Okay, you see. Yep, the enable to fire the test. Okay, so you just go there and enable the smart way. So we don't need to do anything with the code because everything we do behind the engine. Now we enable smart way, and you can see here, we click on pay one, pay two, and it still works, which means that we automatically wait for the request, asynchronous request to complete and fit the content to the page. And then we begin to verify the test element. So with this way, we assure that the loading on the front end will not affect the way that we do the automated testing. And we can focus everything on writing the test, but we don't care much about the way that really the developer do the test. And next, I want to introduce to you guys the 𝑫𝒐𝒏𝒈 recognition features. Okay. So with the features, we technically have the keyword to interact with image. So let's say with the test case, we have the keyword to tap on image, the send image in the mobile test case. Okay, now I run the test. And we tap on the send image. You can see the message is sent. So for the image-based recognitions, this is the first release of the features that we have. For now, we introduce the features at the keyword that we can use to interact with the image. But later on, our real plan for the image-based recognitions is we can have a mechanism behind that when you have interact with the object element, not really the image, we will automatically like capture the image. And if all the way that with the XPath, with other stuff that fail to identify the image, we will use the image that capture for the element to identify the image. So I mean that when we fully develop the features, it will be another way. I like a Sentinel guy to really help you find the element, especially for mobile, even though on the XPath or on the other way that we detect the element fail. So we have go through on the features that we developed for the easy to adopt capabilities, which mean like smart XPath, smart way, and image recognitions. And then you can see already all the stuff that we do there focus on element location because normally the test fail because the application change, and when the application change, the way that we detect element change. And with this way of call it features, it can help you recover and still have the pass that case even there are a lot of changes in the test case, or I mean in the web or mobile applications. And now I go ahead with the powerful to scale features with the desktop apps testing, that object import export, and that object refactoring. So for desktop app testing, we have another demo. First of all, for doing desktop app testing, we will need a WinApp driver to connect to the application. The application we select here is PuTTY. And this is the process that we recording the test case for the desktop applications. So now we have a screen to interact with the applications and a list of action that we can do with the element. Okay, we just recall set that actions. Then we record another one. All right, so finish the test case. Actually, yeah. Okay. We store test element in the object repo the same way that we do with web or mobile. So this is the way that we record the test for web for desktop applications. And then we try to rerun the test. Okay, So why I mentioned this desktop app testing features at a powerful to scale in the powerful to scale category. So let's say even for us today we don't have any desktop application to test, but we foreseen that in the futures actually the way that we develop application right now really multi-channel, maybe like mobile, maybe web, and someday we might have that desktop application out there. So if we choose Katalon Studio as the solution, so I think it can be secure for the future that if we might ever need desktop application, we still need one tool to do that. So this is the way that we think if we can scale our tasks to other applications, other type applications, we can still handle that. Second, we have the demo for the text artifact import and export features. For these features, so technically we will have to export all the text artifact that we have. We can export TestGate, that object, profile, and keyword. And with this way, we can export the common TestGate or common keyword from a project to start the other project faster. So we just bundle a TestGate and that object to a zip file. And we just import. Yeah, we import the TestGate into the new project. Okay, so with the features, we believe that if you want to build another project with the base that you have in an existing project, it will be super quick for you to start that. So let's say that if you need to develop new project for your client, you can totally start it very quick. And finally, we have the demo for the tag artifact refactor. Yeah, this is very simple features that we can have clean up the tag artifact that's really unused or redundant. This is kind of very simple, but for me, it's very important, especially when my project is super big and I have to store a lot of things. So the way that I can clean up all the stuff that I'm not used really helpful for me to maintain the product when it grows bigger and bigger. So with the demo, the features that we clean that object that we not use in the test case. All right, so going back to the top challenges in test automations. So you see that the number 3 reason is we lack of skills and experience in test automation resources. So even though automation is not new, but until now, as you can see in the report, the skill and experience that we possess is really not enough to really implement a full automation project, and it's still a problem out there. So that's why we focus on building features that fix for any level of automation expertise. And within is really the way that help to adopt with the problem out there. And to mention number 2 reason that challenge with test data and environment availability and scalability. This is the reason why we need the integration with LambdaTest. Because let's say when I have a Windows machine or Mac machines, I cannot test the environment in other tests in all the browser, just like Edge, like Safari, Chrome, and Firefox in just my machines. I lack an environment to do that, but right now we have a lot of cloud service provider out there for the environment. For example, we had LambdaTest, and it really we have deal with the challenge number 2 that we have in the report. So I go ahead with the live demo of LambdaTest and Katalon integrations for parallel testing. At the way that we do right now to really show number 2, top 2 reason, top 2 challenges of test automations. Okay. I will share. I had a task case and really do a simple work. And I want the task case to run in on the browser, on the latest browser. So I set up the LambdaTest collections. This is the environment that LambdaTest with Chrome. This is Firefox, Edge, and Safari. So I have this set up already with connection to LambdaTest. On this stuff with my account. And now with the support from LambdaTest, I can run the task case in 4 environment in concurrent. Okay, this is my LambdaTest screen where the execution will happen. Yep. Had my e-commerce side. Okay. So this is the execution on Chrome, Firefox, Edge. With LambdaTest, I can see what happened there. Right. So thanks to the integration with LambdaTest, I can run my task case concurrently on 4 latest browser on Safari, Edge, Firefox, and Chrome. So it really helped me solve the problem with environment that I don't have. So let's say in my MacBook, it's no way that I can have Edge to run. All right, so this end of my presentations. Now I'm going to hand over to Mudit. So hi, Mudit.
Yeah, hi, Dan. Thanks for the great presentation and thanks for starting out my part as well.
Okay.
You have just set up a base for me. So let me share my screen as well. I think.
Okay.
Give me a second. Share my screen. All right. So once, as Young said, LambdaTest is more of an execution platform where you get access to all the browsers and operating systems and browser versions that you may not have access to your system online. So even if you are using Catalan Studio or Selenium, for example, you're running that test locally. So it will run only on the browsers that you have installed on your system. So if you are, for example, using a Mac laptop and you want to run your tests on, for example, Edge, you are out of options. Why? Because Mac does not support Edge. You won't be able to run your test on Edge system, Edge browser. Similarly, on the other case, if you have a Windows laptop and you want to run on Safari, again, you're out of options because Windows does not support Safari. So you would have to either invest in a new machine to either buy a new Mac laptop or a Windows laptop, or you come to a platform like LambdaTest. So here at LambdaTest, what we have done is we have collected all the browsers, operating systems, all the browser versions, and even mobile browsers as well that allow you to run your tests online on these browsers. So if we talk about Catalan, there's a simple setting that you may have to do. For example, you just have to go to your project settings, desired capabilities. You can set your remote settings here. So you would have to define a remote server URL. So already have a few of those settings here. So for example, I have done a setting for my Chrome test. Let me give you an example of this. Show you an example, right? So you have to define a remote server URL. This is a LambdaTest hub URL that you would be accessing. This is the URL, and there's an authentication key to access this URL. So when you go to the LambdaTest platform, you will find a key icon here. Here you will find your access key. You can copy it directly from here. And then apart from that, you would also have to define your desired capability object keys, like which browser version, which operating system you want to run your test on, what you want your build name to be, what you want your test name to be. So all of this, you can again add a new value here and create a new value in the Selenium type in your driver builder, and you can set your LambdaTest settings here. To help you out in that as well, like what would be the exact name, we also have a desired capability object generator, right? So for example, if you want to run your test on Windows 8.1 of a particular resolution on a different version of Chrome, you can come to this object, this utility generator here, and they will tell you like you have to name a platform with Windows 8.1. You have to enter a value browser name with Chrome. So this is a very simple setting, one-time setting. In fact, once you have done that, then you can come and run your test case at LambdaTest platform directly. So once you execute your test will be executed in parallel at LambdaTest platform. So by parallel, that means that of 4 threads, up to 4 threads are being run at the same time. So the number of threads that can be run at the same time is dependent upon the number of parallel sessions you are subscribed to. So for example, right now I'm subscribed to 2 parallel sessions. That means that 2 tests will run at the same time. However, the other 2 tests will be added in queue. If you are, for example, like Young he was subscribed to a 5 parallel session plan, he could run 4 tests at the same time. So the greater the number of parallel sessions you have, the greater the less amount of time it will take to execute all of your tests. So as you can see, 2 of my tests are being running, 2 of the other 2 tests are queued. So you can add up to 150 tests in the queues. So once these 2 tests will stop running, these 2 tests from the queue will be taken out like on a first come first serve basis and will start running. You can also see, so let's dive a little bit deeper onto the running test. You can see the live running of the test from the LambdaTest platform. This is a live execution. Right, this is a live execution of the test. And once the test has been executed, you will be able to see complete logs of those running of the test. You would be able to see complete command logs, like step-by-step execution of your test commands. So even if you are using Selenium, this would be there. And after execution of each command, our platform automatically takes a screenshot. So you won't have to define in your code or any setting. Our platform automatically takes a screenshot, saves a lot of time in debugging, right? We also provide you with network logs, complete network logs of each and every element. We also provide you complete raw logs as well. So if you are using any custom reporting framework or custom reporting tool, you can use these raw logs to create your custom reporting for your framework. If, for example, there was some error, in the, for example, console settings, so you will get console logs. So right now, for example, in the Chrome, if there was some error here, you'd be able to get console logs. But so there was no error here, so there were no logs. Similarly, during a test execution, if there was some error during an execution of the command, you will get an exception log here. But again, as there were no this exception here, there's nothing here. But if, for example, was there any error, you would be able to see which step there was an error here in your exception log. So apart from that, you also have metadata. That means like which browser version this test was run on, what was the start time, what was the end time, and what was the backend Selenium version that was being used and everything. And all of this you can kind of download directly from here if you want, or we have end-to-end APIs as well that you can use to extract all the data. So we have very robust APIs that you can use to extract all data related to build, related to test sessions, test ID, the screenshots that were being generated, video logs, command logs, Selenium raw logs, network logs, everything. You can extract everything using our APIs. Another cool feature that we have is what we call mark as a bug feature. So for example, during a test running, you feel that this screenshot generated is not as intended. You can send this screenshot directly to your project management tool by clicking on mark as a bug. So you can integrate it with multiple project management tools. So for example, I have an integration with Jira and I have an integration with Slack. So this will directly send the issue to your Jira account. Or it will send, and it will at the same time send a link to the Slack channel as well, right? So you can also see the whole summary of all the tests that has been run, and we provide you with multiple statuses. So if, for example, there was any build that had any failed test, or if there were build that has any tests that were being timed out, you can filter them out using all this small filter. So let me give you a brief rundown. So running and queued are what as I just showed. Running tests are the tests that are being running. Queued tests are in queue. Timeout are tests which have timed out because there were no error. There was an error and the Selenium was not able to find the next Selenium command. So this usually typically comes in cases where the next element was not found and there was some genuine error. Completed and passed looks the same, but there's a little bit of difference in the fact that you have to pass the using a JavaScript executor, you have to pass whether the test has passed or not. So you can define your test as passed or failed through that JavaScript executor as an assertion. So error is again error if there was any error during the execution, and we are very transparent. So Sometimes during the test execution, shit happens. There can be an issue where the machine that you are executing, the Lambda test machine, did not start up, or was there some error in that? So there may be a possibility that any error come from our side. So we transparently define you that there was an error from Lambda test machine, from the Lambda test side, so that you won't have to kind of debug what was the exact error. So if there was an error from our side, we will give you notice that there was a Lambda test error. And we are one of those platform, very few out of those online that kind of shows this transparency. Uh, Apart from that, we have complete build-based analytics as well that you can leverage, like how many number of tests were executed in a day, how many number of builds that were executed a day. We add, you can add multiple more graphs, and every month based on user requests, we add more types of graph. So if you feel during your execution that of type of intelligence is missing that you may need in the Lambda test, just use our chat support and ping us, and we would add it on our roadmap. So yeah, so you get complete video related to Safari, uh, for Edge if you are using everything. All right. So yeah, so as I said, we have integration with multiple project management tool that you can use to kind of send your any issue that you are found. Uh, right now I have integrated with Jira, but you can integrate it with any project management tool. For example, we have integration with Azure DevOps. Somebody asked in the chat section, I see. So here's the option to integrate with DevOps, Azure DevOps. We have integration with Katalon, obviously. You can use this to integrate with Katalon. It will take you to our documentation, which is another one of our very great point. We have complete end-to-end documentation with all the frameworks, all the project management tool. For example, if you're using Selenium Test NG, we have documentation for that as well. You can come to that. And we have a Chrome extension, a WordPress plugin, and we have integration with CI/CD tools as well. So if you are using, for example, Jenkins, we have a plugin with Jenkins that you can leverage to kind of run your CI/CD pipeline, run your test on Lambda test. Right. So yeah, so these are all the major things that that will help you running your automation test on Lambda test platform. It will not only allow you to increase your browser coverage, but it will also allow you to kind of decrease your test execution time. So for example, if you have 100 test threads that you want to execute, each of those thread take around a minute to complete. So completing the whole build of 100 tests will take, for example, 100 minutes. However, at Lambda test, if you are subscribed to, let's say, 10 parallel sessions, 10 of those threads will execute at the same time. So your whole build execution time will cut down to 10 minutes only. So you can decrease your test execution time by a factor of 10 by subscribing to a 10 parallel session. Right, so the more number of test threads you are, the more number of parallel sessions you can subscribe to, and kind of cut down your test execution time from hours to minutes, or sometimes from days to hours. So with any premium plan, you get unlimited time of testing. So you can use Lambda test as what you want. So yeah, these are all the main features related to Lambda test that I wanted to highlight. And Young already had gave you an awesome demo of how you can leverage the Katalon and Lambda test together to create a complete codeless automated testing framework, a complete codeless automated testing ecosystem that kind of scales up as you scales up your testing. So, Young, do you think, is there anything that I'm missing out?
You did a great job with it. So
Awesome.
I think we cover on the stuff that we plan to do. Yeah.
Awesome. Right. So I think we can move on to the question and answer sessions, if you think.
Yeah, sure. So actually, during your time, I tried to answer for all 5 questions already.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Oh,
So
great. So,
and yeah, you can
like,
go ahead with some question with Lambda test. In the meantime, I will time my answers in Zoom while you go ahead with some question with Lambda test.
all
Yep.
right. So, one of the question I Taha asked, should application be deployed in web to allow Lambda test access to it? No. So we have a feature called Lambda Tunnel. What does Lambda Tunnel do is it is a binary file that you can download, and it will create a secure shell tunnel between your system and Lambda test servers. So what that allows is that any HTTP traffic that is being requested at Lambda test would be routed through your system. So that way, if you have any locally hosted or privately hosted application using Lambda Tunnel, you can connect Lambda test platform and your systems, and you can test your locally hosted and privately hosted application as well, right? So it's a very cool feature. You just have to download it and run once. We also have an npm package for it if you want to do it, or you can use the Jenkins plugin as well to kind of schedule this. So if you have any like issues running your testing your local system, this is the solution that can help you out. Right. So Bruno asked, can we receive a result back from Lambda test to Katalon? Yes, you do. So anytime you run a test on Katalon, you kind of see your end results on Katalon as well. So even though the tests are being executed on Lambda test platform, the result is being shown on Katalon as well in your Katalon console. So both part, you can use both Lambda test and Katalon for finer tuning of your test execution. You kind of get complete end-to-end logs of running of your test at Katalon back as well. Another question was asked, like, will Lambda add capability to take screenshot while running and ability to run automate run with screenshot comparison during run? So this is again a feature that we are being added. So there are so this all the features that I've just shown were related to automation. We have few features that corresponds to manual testing as well. For example, we have a feature called screenshot testing that allow you to take multiple screenshots of single page on multiple different browsers. So it's a very quick way to kind of take your a screenshot to do a perform a visual testing of your web page very quickly. You can take not just on desktop browsers, you can take on mobile browsers as well. But the challenge here right now is that all these screenshots, you just kind of get a simple understanding how the screenshots look. It won't give you a comparative feature like what is the difference between one screenshot and another. So we have a similar feature for this that we call smart testing. It will allow you to kind of compare two images with each other. However, these features right now are a little bit not integrated, in fact. So you have to take a screenshot here, download it and upload it to smart testing, and you kind of get a complete picture of how those what their differences between these two screenshots. We kind of working on integrating these two features, and we will be integrating them very soon. So you would be able to see how those two features work differently, how those two features kind of work simultaneously. So stay tuned. We will be adding these features. So another question asked was when we run in concurrent tests as shown in Lambda test, is there a way to get a report per test with screenshot per test and console output per test? Exactly. So as I said, like all the screenshots that are being generated, everything is generated per test by test. So there's a complete build view as well, and there is a test view as well. So you will get results related to tests. You will be able to extract single screenshot after each and every Selenium command. So it's a very you can get very granular report using Lambda test. So not just test wise, you can go with Selenium command wise directly. And all of this you can extract using our APIs if you are working in that way. So another question is how do you get commands to show up? So all of these are Selenium commands. They are coming automatically here. So if there was any Selenium command that we received, like for example, Katalon, this command that was sent by Katalon in a Selenium format, those commands are being shown here. You can see them. You can see the response back of those commands as well as a value that you can use to debug your this. So you can copy it if you want to kind of debug it very granularly. So another question was asked by Kushal. LambdaTest supports web, not mobile. So we have mobile browsers as well. You can run your test on mobile browsers. If you're looking for mobile native app testing, unfortunately, that is not there at our platform. We only supports mainly LambdaTest only supports mainly mobile web. So you can come to the desired capability generator here again. We have an APM section, so you can see we have both Android and iOS browsers here, all the way till, for example, we have even iPhone 11 Pro. We have different versions of Safari. You can select the Appium version also. So you can run your test on mobile browsers, but we don't have any support for native mobile app testing right now. Again, something that we're working on. So, so again, yeah, there was a question: how do you get pass to get sent to Katalon without need of any special JS? I want Katalon to show pass or fail without needing a programming language. Uh, I'm not sure. Young, is there any way that we can kind of pass a JavaScript executor in Katalon to show a result back in LambdaTest?
So you mean that we are the question is about passing the JavaScript execution?
So we have
Yeah.
a small JavaScript executor that we use in LambdaTest to kind of send a result back. For example, like this, as you see in the screen. So this is a very one-liner JavaScript executor that can be used as an assertion to send the result back to kind of LambdaTest whether the test has passed or failed. So if somebody is running using codelessly using Katalon, is there any way to kind of add this as a um, line or kind of copy paste in Katalon?
Yeah. So technically in Katalon we had the capability to execute um, to have we had the capability to execute the JavaScript stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but for the exact case, I'm sorry that I haven't had the research beforehand. So I will note it down and I will give you guys the answer later.
All
Right
right,
now,
awesome.
I'm not sure that, but technically we have the capability to execute JavaScript in Catalan. But
All right.
yeah.
So the guy who asked this question is anonymous, but if you are listening, so we have a very awesome chat support here. So I would request you to come here and like send us a message so that we can connect, and I will tell you a way after consulting with Young on how we can exactly do that. But I'm 100% sure that it would be possible. There won't be much coding knowledge involved in that as well. Katalon is a very awesome platform. It's very like versatile. It has a lot of features, so it would be one of them. Another question Bruno asked is related to sensitive data. So one of the things is here that we have taken security very seriously. So all this, the tests that you see here, we are not actually have access to the code. We only have access to the Selenium commands that you sent, and all the data is that being sent by both all the Selenium commands and all the like everything here is encrypted end to end. So uh, all the screenshots that are being saved here are being saved in secure logically separated databases. That means only you as a user will have access to it. Not even LambdaTest will have access to it. So all the data at rest and all the data in transit is secured in FIPS 140 layer 2 based format. So layer encryption standard. So everything is quite of secured in that sense. Apart from that, you can obviously toggle the screenshot and video thing off if you think that you do not want that to run on LambdaTest. We also have a feature that you can use to kind of delete all this data. So as I said, right, everything at LambdaTest platform is controllable. So we have a delete section here. You can use this to kind of delete all the complete test session data. And we also have APIs. So how enterprise uses is that they kind of use our APIs to extract the data and then delete all this data using these APIs. So another somebody asked like API example for Docker. So if you are using LambdaTest, you won't have to use Docker or anything else. LambdaTest helps you kind of eliminate the need for you to kind of maintain that infrastructure. So you won't have to rely on Docker or any other tool for that. You can directly come to LambdaTest, integrate it, and run. I think I kind of covered all the questions related to LambdaTest.
Great job, Mudit. So
Yeah,
in the meantime, yeah, I have time my answers for 10 questions.
right.
So I have a great question from IR. This means that in the case the page element are created dynamically inside HTML pages, no element IDs. And after recording the test case, the page change element are added to HTML page or removed from HTML page. Shows which what is the best way to identify element in the case, and what the best way to update on preferences of element across on test cases. So for me, actually, um, when you used the spying functionalities of Catalan Studio, you can actually spy the object when it's added to the page. I mean that you can go through the process, go to the test case, and you identify elements right at the moment that it added to the test case. So, so I think it's the way to do that, because if we don't have the element out there in the HTML page, there's no way we can detect that. And the second question, what the best way to update on references of element across on test cases? I'm not pretty sure about your idea of the questions, but for Catalan Studio, you can use one test object for all the test cases if it's the same object. So when you use one test object for on the test case, just like when you update the test object on the test case will be updated as well. Okay. Right. One more question from Usos. Like the Catalan Win app desktop automation support mainframe application. So technically right now we support um, desktop testing for application on Windows 10. So if your application run on Windows 10, we can support it. But if not, well, we're afraid that we don't have that capability at this moment. All right. So there seem to be no more question regarding Catalan Studio there. All right.
All right. So another question I just found related to our LambdaTest is that is it possible to set a resolution when we are using LambdaTest? So again, yes, it would be possible that you can run, you can set the resolution. We move to uh, the again to the capability generator object. It's a very awesome tool, very like useful tool. Every time I come back to it, you have a way to kind of set the resolution, from here. You can change the resolution. Similarly, if you are in Katalon, you can go to like project settings. Here you can select the desired capabilities. Here I have set the desired capabilities. So you just have to set one more value here as resolution, and add this value here as resolution, and set a resolution value from here. So you can set which resolution you want to run your test on very easily. Right. Another question is how, so we would be all of this, this webinar is kind of recorded on YouTube. We have a channel, LambdaTest has a YouTube channel. I will share the link after as a part of the mail as well with the link. So just search LambdaTest on the YouTube. You will be able to find the channel, and we would have a recording of this webinar there. So yeah, I think we kind of covered nearly all the questions. And any question, Young, you see that we are not covered till now?
There are a couple from Katalon, but I think there's I can send back to the center later. I think it's we a little bit, I mean, 15 minutes over the session. Yeah.
Oh, right.
All right. So anyway, thank you very much for your stuff today. I think that's great for me as well. Yep.
Awesome. Right. We learned a lot today. And apart from that, also wanted to highlight the chat support. So if there was some question that we are missing and you think you need help with, you just come to here, type in need help, and there will be somebody online to help you out. We are very active on our chat support. We have them in our mobile devices. Like I'm also there on the chat support. Anytime you face any issue, just type, and we have a usual response time within minutes. That is one of our differentiating factors. That we have very, very fast chat support. So just come here and type away, and we would be glad to help you out. All right. So I think that's it. Thank you guys for joining. We had a lot of knowledge transfer coming today. So we will be running more webinars soon. So stay tuned. And once again, thanks for joining, and have a great day ahead, guys. Jung, thanks for coming on the calls. Thanks for coming on the webinar and explaining about the Katalon to our users. I really had a good session with you. Once again, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, it's my honor to do that. Thank every guys for joining, and back with it.
Bye bye. Have a great day.
A great day.